welcome to another one of our GBHL's Deadliest Armies. Get the right one.
Deadliest Tournament
Deadliest
Armies.
So, today we've got Dave, who's been doing the interviewing so far. So I'm going to try and make him feel uncomfortable in the style of Jeremy Paxman, and quiz him about his army. So, Dave, your army. Why on the first tournament that you took this to? Why on earth would you bring your army, which, if you don't know, is berserkers, stuff, and the fell beast?
Yep. I think to crack on, I got into the hobby just over a year and a half, 2 years ago now. First tournament, I just love Urukai, brought the idea of Urukai.
Yeah.
Took my army to Stockport, had a fun time, ended up getting second place.
Yeah, you did.
Didn't know how, because I'd only played one game beforehand. Stumbled
It's a good weekend.
stumbled out of that and started looking at, oh my god, I've got to get competitive. I'm good. I could be the best. And then went to the next tournament and got smashed completely.
As is right.
Yep,
Lure you in and then
smash me
destroy
down.
you.
Yeah. I think I ended up 7th or something like that at Stirling.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Which actually isn't bad placing for Stirling. It's a very highly competitive tournament. So
yeah, it's amazing. What it taught me was stamina, how much stamina you needed. So anyway, I needed to look at my army, and I started with a troll, an Isengard troll. I had
beautiful model.
Oh, they're gorgeous, yes. But mine was a converted one because I couldn't afford to buy an Isengard troll.
Oh, yeah.
So I did a cave troll and overly converted it with shield, etc. Anyway.
Nice bit of armour.
Yeah. I had never touched berserkers. I had never even seen ferals at this point, and then the rest was my general was Grishnak with some orcs.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, mixed in with some Hardrim warriors, mixed in with some Urukai warriors because I love the Urukai. And what I'd done was I didn't like the present Urukai plastic warriors, so I used the Scout metal ones.
Yeah.
Because they paint up beautifully. I asked my
They
opponents
are
to
really
mind
nice
that.
models.
Yeah.
Really nice models.
And I used them. Anyway, it started to progress, and out went the troll. In came a couple of ferals and berserkers, mostly based on Damien Byrne's army, because I really liked that. I saw who the top type players were, Damien, and you had Ed. And I thought the only way I can beat the two of those, because Ed's spellbeast's amazing, and Damien's army was just utterly devastating. The only way to actually beat them was to join them. So I took some of Damien's, which is Ferorkers, Berserkers and Ferals, and I took a Fellbeast. Started with the Knight of Umbar, that worked well for a while, and then I changed it to the Undyne.
Yeah.
And it just rocked, completely rocked. I didn't take any of the crossbows that Damien uses, because I thought, I needed to get my guys up fast. I need to get them up efficiently, whether it's reconnoiter, hold ground, seize the prize, or any of the scenarios. Need to get them up quickly.
Yeah.
So I looked at getting rid of the usual Isengard captains and putting on what I class as my naked orc captains. That means they just don't have a shield. Reduce the points, more models. I then fielded somewhere nearly 36 plus models in a 600-point game. And
it was quite impressive with especially with the lack of shields meant that you got an extra berserker in effectively across your army. And it's different. Nobody else was doing anything like that at the time. So,
well, the floppy part was I didn't keep an orc captain as an orc captain at the back, frightened. So all he'd do was really use his might. Exactly. Off you go, lads. And basically, he'd use his might to get the forces up.
Yeah.
And then I always had the Fell Beast, the Ring Rate and the Fell Beast, except when I come across Ed Ball.
Yeah.
Because one Fell Beast against 3 odd Fell Beasts, it's tough. So I used the Fell Beast and the Ring Rate more like you'd use Saruman on a horse, staying back, waiting for the ultimate little moments. And
but then Fell Beasts don't really like coming up against ferals or berserkers.
No,
so at the same time, there's no easy option for a Fell Beast when coming up against 2 attack models with high courage. So
yeah,
it's quite scary.
It is tough. The great thing about it is that the army, and I'm very competitive. I came into the hobby very competitive, and the whole focus was last year I devoted a lot of time to just trying to do as well as I could in the league. I know everyone says, we go to tournaments for fun and stuff. Me, I said, I'm going to tournaments to try and compete top table. I did. I met loads of fantastic people, and I learned so much.
Yeah. But the thing is, and I've found this a lot because I've been tournamenting for far too long now, is there's sometimes you might go to a few tournaments where you take armies for fun. I mean, I know the last few years I've got a reputation for taking silly armies, but there was a time when I used to always want to be on those top few tables because it really refines the way that you play.
Yeah.
Your army lists become superb. I mean, I remember us two having a conversation after one of the tournaments, and I was like, Dave, I'd put the shields back in again because you'd be able to hold people up with your orc captains shielding against big heroes. And you went, well, I hadn't considered that.
Yeah.
And you go, it's only when you're coming up against people who are at that level when your army list really can be refined. And so you've already given us an idea of what your army is like now.
Yep.
You've given us an idea of how you got there. Now, in recent tournaments, what are the armies that you're fearful or that give you a little bit of a dodgy heart when you realise that you're drawn against them?
Went to Ripon, which was 1,000 points, no magic, just took pure Isengard, 20 ferals, 20 berserkers, and a few spear. And I'm sure you've seen in other videos, I got completely smashed by Dan and Twizzler's mummies. You needed something for that. But talking about my 600 to 800 point force, I think Mails from a Battle has definitely been and always will be my least favourite, most frightening tour scenario, based on the fact. Sorry, go ahead.
And it's Martial Battle set up in all scenarios, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's they're taking hold, and then there's been some of the custom scenarios that come out, which have scattered your force on.
I think it's because my weakness is my deployment. I don't understand how to deploy my forces very well, but I'll take a line from Dave Reed as he said, Dave, you can take your knocks, but you have the ability to come back. And I think after a bad deployment, I managed to come back and pull a close loss, a draw, or a convincing win. So with the fact of using might and my forces all over the place with Mails from a Battle, it really throws me.
It's a very strange setup because you don't really get that kind of setup in any other gaming system.
No.
Because it's so chaotic with your army potentially being split, in your case, often into quarters.
Yeah.
And I think it's more forgiving if your army is only 1 or 2 warbands or has enough warbands where you don't care if they get separated out because you've got so many roles. But when you've got that elite army and you split into quarters, your opponent might get their entire army against just the Knight of Umbar or the Undying with whoever he's got in his warband, which, I mean, most often or not, is 1 orc spear or nothing.
Yeah, it's usually just 1 orc spear or 2 orc spears. Yeah. Maybe if I have a few points, a Moran and Spearman, just to get that extra
and with him down,
defense and fight. Yeah,
it's a long way back, isn't it?
Oh, it is. One of the custom scenarios brought out was Clash of Champions. Which I know it's all over the place at the moment. They're trying to figure out exactly how to word it. Some people aren't using it anymore, but hey ho, that was troublesome because I'm losing my general and I'm losing my fell beast.
Yeah.
Most feared armies. Well, my army's geared to take on fell beasts. My army's geared to take on dwarfs or take on anything else head to head. Archers, I suppose, would be my greatest fear. Things like Rivendell Knights, where I can't necessarily catch them. Yeah. My plan is my Berserkers are my shields because they're defense 6, and my Ferals defense 5 are behind them.
And against the strength 3 bows, you need the defense 6.
Yeah, you do. So definitely James Braun's Rivendell Knight army. That's kind of scary. Recently, I think Anuj has been bringing a whole...
Oh, he's Mirkwood Rangers.
Yeah. That's where you kind of want to pick everyone up with a fell beast and drop them right on top.
Yes, a good hill there and it's over. But up to that point, it hurts, doesn't it?
So yeah, archery can be a problem. Lords of Battle with that army can be a problem if I get in against some key heroes, an all-hero army, or again, Ed Ball's Felbeast. But Felbeasts have a bit of an association with Berserkers, and they don't particularly like
There's
each
the ancient
other.
enemies there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Damien and Ned. But really, what you're saying is, because your army is quite balanced, it's only when somebody is a very extreme army when it causes you problems. The all-hero, the kind of uber-shooty nature of Rivendell Knights, or the kind of, I guess it's still an all-hero, but the Felbeast army, can cause you a headache in the right scenarios. But most of the time, you've got quite a Swiss Army knife sort of list there.
It works well. It works well. And coming back to the Felbeast, it's only certain scenarios that the Felbeast can really... They're usually the custom scenarios.
And actually, that Maelstrom of Battle setup, it doesn't hurt the all Felbeast list as much, because he comes on and moves 12, and he can pretty much, without spending any might, get all his Felbeast together very quickly, while you're slowly walking along with your Berserkers. Even heroic marching, you're not going to get very far very quickly. So, yeah.
The one thing I am finding, though, is that when I'm playing a game, I'm looking at my opponent's army and going, oh, I'm worried about this, worried about that, worried about that. I sometimes forget that my opponent is looking at my army and going, I'm worried about this. So when I make up an army list, I go for my tri-attack. My tri-attack. Can you say that in English? Tri-attack?
Tri-attack.
Thank you. And that is, I usually try and get 3 major pieces that are going to cause my opponent grief rather than just the one. So I've got my Felbeast, but then I have a whole load of Berserkers, which is 2, and then I have a whole load of Ferals, which is 3. So it seems to work for me.
So obviously you used them to good effect last year.
Yep.
Going forward, do you see yourself playing these more this season? I know that you've been trying out different stuff. Do you still love playing them?
I still love the idea of them, and I still fear them when I come up against that sort of army. I've just bought myself a full Wood Elf army and some High Elves. I'm trying to build that. That might take me 2.5 years to paint. I'm trying to do it professionally. Don't commission me, guys. But I'm finishing off my Felbeasts as well. And as I said, this year I'd like to choose a number of different armies, but I'm going to Throne of Skulls, and I think I might be bringing a few flappy things.
Ooh, very nice. So we'll see him again. So hopefully, if you guys come to tournaments, you might come against Dave with his filth. You never know; you might come against him with flappy things, if you're lucky. So anyway, that's one deadly army. Hopefully, you'll join us again for another one. We've got some good ones coming up, and I'm sure, obviously, if you make an even more deadly army, you could be on this video later on in the year.
Yeah.
So, we'll see you again soon.
Well, Mr. Wright, thank you for having me. See you later, guys. Bye for now.
Cheers.